You don't have the power to make people stop talking about you. They're still going to do it. You don't have power to stop people from expecting you to end up like someone they know. That's their wish or their speculation. You don't have the power to stop people from using very harsh words on you. It's either their mood, their upbringing, their mouth, and their choice of words. You have the power to either let that define who you become, or you make it be without no effect at all in all of your life. Sometime, somewhere, someone surely said something that wasn't very, very pleasant to you. Sentences like, why can you not be like this person? Why can you not act like your brother or your sister? Why can you not copy from this person? This in particular comes from people that are very close to us, like parents, sometimes family members, or some caretakers. You are not good enough. You're not very beautiful. You're not very pretty. You're not very intelligent. You're not very fast. You're not very smart. You know? So no matter how we undermine these words, these sentences, this kind of statements from people, they have an effect on the people they were said to. And even though the person comes like to tell you later after that to say, I was just joking, please don't take it serious. I was just joking, it was a joke. No matter how we try to undermine the effect of these things, they actually have a lasting effect on people. When people grow and they hear all of these things, it stays in them. It stays in them. And now what happens is they keep on processing all these kind of negative words that they heard. They process it, and now it becomes like a whole bully now living inside of them. Because when they heard all this thing, it was just like somebody bullying them in school, a fellow classmates making some kind of statements against them or to them and all that, or at home and somebody keeps telling you that you're not good enough, you're not good like your cousin, you're not good enough, you cannot do these things well, you're not very pretty like your sister, you're not very, very smart and all that. So all these things were said like they happen externally, and maybe the people came after that to apologize, to say they were sorry, it was just a joke, and really did not mean it. But the truth is, with time, these people, they keep processing this, they keep thinking about it. Look, it weighs down on people. Now they sit down, they keep pondering over it, like over and over and over, and all of a sudden, without them even knowing, this becomes a whole bully living now in the inside of them. A whole bully now living inside of them, repeating the same sentences, the same phrases that were used against them. Now, at this level, this is what they have to deal with. Now, every time they try to take a step, they try to do something, this word comes like to remind them, to repeat those same words that were said some time ago, some years ago. This voice comes to remind and say, you are not good enough. You've always been trying to do this. You're not very smart like the other person. You're not very beautiful. You're not very charming like this other person. This other person is better than you. So this bully now, which lives in the inside of them, keeps repeating this over and over and over. And this just becomes like a whole pattern. Now, what happens is this. Some people, a majority of people who hear some kind of statements, words, phrases of competition, of saying they're not good enough, they're not fast enough, smart enough, beautiful enough, handsome enough, good enough. So some people start unconsciously hating themselves. So they start wishing they look like this other person. They start wishing they were smart like this other person. They start wishing, the general thing is they start hating themselves. They just say, I'm not good. I'm not better. I'm not very smart. I'm not very beautiful. I'm not like this person. Oh, I wish I was like this person. So that's already hatred for oneself. Now, we start hating ourselves. You start hating yourself based on people's view. You don't even know what the person was influenced by. People have moods. They have mood swings. People have their own life, and they have a lot of things that influence them to make some kind of statements. Someone might just go and get drunk and then just make a kind of statement to you. That's the power that you don't have. You cannot stop them from saying whatever they want to say. So imagine you taking something very, very seriously from somebody who just had a bad day from outside. Now coming home, the person is so, so mad. And just anybody who comes like steps on his or with just some kind of bad words come out. Now, You see, the kind of effect that that kind of a kind of careless word can have on someone. A careless word that was influenced by something, like some other action that happened to somebody outside. Sometimes parents get really, really mad wherever they go to, and they come back really mad, and it affects even their way of life at home. So in that state, they can even make some kind of utterances against a child, against somebody. Now imagine if you have to, that has to affect your whole life. You know, and maybe the person even came after that to say, I'm very, very sorry. I was in a bad mood. But it will not take that word that was said. That word will keep ringing. It will really stay in you and become now very, very strong and affecting a whole person's life, like the rest of the person's life. One of the ways that self-hatred affects us is that, it makes someone choose friends, relationships, which are not even very, very good. So they think that if people accept them into their lives, the people are actually doing them a favor. So that's how self-hatred affects people. So they choose the wrong people, they get the wrong, they get the wrong relationships just to be accepted. So they say, okay, I'm not very pretty enough. I'm not very smart enough. So if this person is accepting me, the person is actually doing me a favor. Another way is that some people shut down completely. Some people actually shut down completely. If somebody hears like, you're not pretty, it will affect even the way they dress, the way they look, the way they even present themselves, the way they even want to go out. They just want to be somehow, never experiencing any part of their life because they think they're not pretty. So it makes some people shut down completely. Words are very, very strong. Words are very, very powerful. They can really break somebody, like break a whole self esteem. But one thing we have to know is this: what goes into a man, what goes inside of a man, does not have the power to destroy that man. It can have the ability to destroy that person, depending on how the person takes it, positive or negative. But it doesn't have the power. If words that get into you are able to destroy your life, it means you gave those words the power to destroy you. So the whole thing lies on whoever is involved, whoever is a victim of bad words, bad sentences, derogatory statements, and all that. So you are the one who determine whether those things are going to destroy you or not. Okay. So when all those things are said to you, said to someone, you take them in, and then you decide to just give up and just say, okay, you accept other people's views of you. That's when the destruction starts happening in your life. But you have an action, you have a responsibility. And that responsibility is that of not letting those words destroy you. The responsibility of not letting people's views from whatever influence them to destroy your life. So you have that power to stop words from affecting you. If you don't do nothing about it, that's when words will start having that power to destroy you. Anything you don't give power to destroy you will never destroy you. Destruction only begins when you decide to do nothing and let some things have power over you to destroy you, to ruin your life. You have the power to stop people's view of you from affecting your life. You have the power to kill every word that was ever said to you. You have the power of killing that bully that now lives inside of you, that whenever you want to do something, it keeps reminding you of the things that were said to you long time ago. You have the power to destroy it. That bully can only rise above you when you give it the power to rise above you. First thing you can do, if you're a victim of bad words that were said, that were used while we were growing up, sometime in your life, any point of your life, is this: identify the voice of that bully, the bully that is now living in you. Identify that voice. What does the bully tell you? What does it always say when you want to make a move? Is it a bully that tells you that you're not beautiful enough? Is it a bully that tells you that you're not talented enough? Is it a bully that says you're not smart like this other person? Make a list of positive things that will counteract all those things that were ever said to you. For instance, if you always heard when you're growing up that you're not beautiful enough, then what you have to write is that I am beautiful, I am pretty, I am pretty enough. So write every word, write sentences against the kind of things that always come up in your mind. Like when that bully inside of you starts talking, make a list of that. So whenever that voice rises up to start talking to overpower you, what you have to do is you start speaking your own positive sentences about you. You start saying it. So you are counteracting the word, the voice. So when it says you are not this, you say, I am this. So it's going to be like a battle that is going on now inside of you, because that's the only way you're going to get rid of that bully. That's the only way you're going to destroy the voice of that bully and get rid of it from your life for good. So, secondly, it doesn't just suffice for you to speak back positive things whenever an ugly voice start bringing you down like it has always been doing. So it's not enough for you to speak back. Now, the second thing you do is you have to give up every bad behavior that you adopted. Figure out how you want your life to be. If you want to be happy, then you have to fight for it. If you want to be good, if you want to look pretty again, then you have to fight for it. You have to work for it. However you want your life to be, you have the power to do it. Fight every voice that tells you you're not good enough. Fight every voice that tells you you're a failure. Speak the positive things about you. I'm not a failure. I'm good enough. I have a lot in me. I just need to work on it and all that. So whatever kind of life you envisage for yourself, you have the power to do it. If you need help when it's really, really difficult for you to do it on your own, if you need help, seek help. You can go for therapy. You can join a community. You can join a church. You can join a group. You can join an organization. You can just belong somewhere where you have other people, where you get active, where you get doing some things. Just belong somewhere so that you'll not be alone and weighed down by all these voices that keep talking to you. Keep challenging that voice. If you keep making the positive declarations concerning you, about you, whenever that voice rises up to speak, if you keep challenging that voice on daily basis, anytime, anywhere it comes up, like to say something against you, if you keep challenging it with the positive words and the positive actions that you take for yourself, that voice will become weaker and it will die down. It will die completely. It will die and be gone. That's the only way you'll be able to kick out a bully that has been a part of you, but now not a physical one, but the one actually living inside of you that has become that kind of voice that talks to you always. That's the only way you'll be able to kick this kind of bully out of your life. This is very, very important. A lot of people go through a lot. A lot of people have had their lives ruined by a lot of things that they heard, the kind of childhood they had, and a lot of things that they went through, and they didn't get any help. They didn't belong anywhere. They just gave up on themselves. This voice can cause a lot of destruction. So if you have to get it out, you have to fight it. Get help if you need to get help. And be ready for the battle. Fight it. Fight it with your positive declarations. That's the only way you get rid of this bully who has been living in you for a very, very long time. And you'll be finally free to live a positive, beautiful life. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow this page.